Do you guys want to start with shade structures then? And sharing how we take care of controlling our environment in our yards?
Sure.
Shall we start there? So who would like to go first? I know Dodie has some things to share because she was just putting them together. Would you like to do that, Dodie?
Ann or Mark also has something, right? Don't you?
Well, I think I do. I'm not sure I know how to share.
Are they on your desktop open?
I have them in my file manager, and I have one of them open, full screen.
Are they individual photos, or are they in like a
no,
PowerPoint?
they're individual photos.
Okay.
This is the old one.
I would say yes, they are.
Okay. You might have to close your share screen and get to the next picture and do share screen again, maybe. But try it.
So where's share screen? Down at the bottom?
The bottom, in the middle, it's green.
All right. I don't know which view is. I think maybe this is it. How's that?
And there you go. Beautiful. Nice.
So we're here?
Yeah.
Swimming pool with
A swimming pool.
umbrellas.
That's it.
That's
So
nice.
let me just try one thing here.
I see
Oh,
them.
see all
No,
photos.
not
Maybe
gonna
you
do
can
it.
get to yours.
I was hoping I could just scroll through the pictures,
Well,
but it's not gonna. But
I think you have to stop share and then open up the next picture, maybe.
okay, well,
What if
all right.
it says see all pictures? Can you click on that
Where does it say that?
in the upper left-hand corner?
Grid video. Show small, hide thumbnail. Is it in the zoom function?
No.
We see it, but maybe you don't.
I'm seeing, you know, a couple of versions of my photo here. Yeah, I just lost it, huh? Okay. Try this again. Well, at any rate, we can muddle through, and when you get tired of looking, then that's fine. So we got that.
Not yet. You have to. We got your swimming pool again.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That's fine. So what I've done with my yard, I'm basically looking north. So the house is the back of the house is facing south, and if you see can you guys see the cursor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my juniper, my sun bench right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've done in my whole yard is I haven't you know, like made a very large bonsai bench area. I've pieced and parsed benches kind of in different places. So this was my latest addition, and it's where I keep my junipers and sun-loving plants.
Nice.
Let me see. That would be really nice if that worked, and it's not gonna. Jeez. So picture number 2. This is pretty. Can you see that one?
Nope.
Now
Oh,
you may have to close picture 1.
Okay, I'm getting better at this. I see something says share. It's probably not gonna work.
You have to stop share and
Here's
then
share.
stop
Okay.
share, and it'll take.
Okay, I see. All right. How fast is my finger? Okay, so now you got that one?
No.
No, you never stop shared, I don't think. There you go.
We got it.
You had it.
I had it.
Way to go.
Come back, wherever you are.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, I had this all figured where I would just scroll and page down and everybody be fine, but
It's,
I didn't have the skill set to make it all a PowerPoint or something. That would be the way to do it, I guess. So now we got that one or no?
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So that's basically standing in the same place. I just turned to the right. So this is the other side of the house. This is my shade cloth up here. And there's a bonsai bench back in here. And there's another one back in here that's right against the house. And then there's another one underneath this palm tree that's kind of my filtered shade one.
Nice.
So
Watch it without sound.
I got some other, this is really cumbersome. Sorry. So now that I take it, it is not going to do it. This isn't going to work very well. I can tell.
Well, then just go away.
So did we get that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got that one?
Yep.
All right, let me get about 5 things out of my view here. So this is the, the same place I was, the last picture I was standing over to the left. You can see the little, my granddaughter's slide there that will give you some orientation. So this is my shade cloth. I've got it stretched along the house. It's a 70%. So it takes out a lot of sun, probably too much, but this is where we like to kind of sit before COVID made sitting out in the backyard with friends impossible or not a wise idea. But that other bench is back in here. There's another one way back in here, another one underneath the palms, and then you can just see the juniper bench way over here. So that's kind of my layout. I got some other pictures that are closer up of things, and of course we were on the home tour this year, so everybody I was thinking we were going to come, and now we didn't. But let me see if I can pick out one of these pictures here that gives a better example of some other things. So yeah, maybe this one. So this is let's see, zoom, share, new share. So you got that one now?
Yeah.
All right, so this is kind of underneath the back deck as you come from the juniper bench. So the juniper bench is to my back, but I've got my favorite trees kind of rest right here. These are the ones that I hand water. And they're also, they get a lot of light, but no direct sun to speak of in the summer, but in the wintertime, the sun filters through the palm tree, which is right up here to the right. The other bench is back in the back here. So, and then, there's miscellaneous junk because I didn't clean up the yard for everybody to see. So,
It's real life.
and so let's see.
Oh, look
Now
at that. Now you've
let's
got-
just go to the
Yes,
shade.
works.
We'll just go to the shade cloth here. No. So stop share, new share. So the way I put my shade cloth up is I took some 1/8" steel cable and stretched it around. I used these little turnbuckles here. And I put eye bolts through the fascia boards on the house, and then put a couple of 4x4 posts out at the corners of the deck out there, and then stretched the cable, and then we put little market lights up there for evening time and stuff. And then when summer comes, then I just go up with little zip ties that I get at Harbor Freight and cinch the shade cloth to the cable.
That's smart.
And, so everything's up there. All I do at the end of winter, like or into summer now, is go around with a pair of nipper and cut the shade, cut the plastic ties, and down the shade cloth comes. The cable stays up all
Yeah,
year.
good.
Nice.
Okay, that's cool.
And here's a overall picture of the shade cloth. So you can go with let's see, stop share.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Oops.
Oh, you got it.
That didn't work.
Well, hell, we could have been doing that all along. Well, now we've got that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's looking, basically from the bench that's in the corner, looking out. When I was standing and taking the first pictures, I was standing right over here. I didn't move the slide, so you still got that for reference. So behind me is a bench. You can see I put a cable diagonally across, and that kind of holds up the middle of the shade cloth so that it doesn't droop down and form a big bowl. And the leaves and stuff, we're talking about leaves and that sort of thing. So they tend to not nestle down and weight down the middle of the shade cloth that way too.
Very nice.
So
Nice setup.
now that we're actually quick here, there's one more picture that might be beneficial for everyone. Do we see that one now?
No.
That time it didn't work.
Let's see, what did I do? Let's see. New share. There it is. So you got that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what this one is this is kind of looking the other way, and this is my bench that's in the corner, and it's kind of tucked back there. But what happens in the summertime is this shade cloth doesn't quite go all the way to the fascia board there. There's about 6 feet or so. And so when the sun is high, this gets direct sun from about 10 in the morning until about 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes to shade. So I put half sunny kind of stuff, not junipers, not conifers, but some leafy things. I got a yew in there, and there's why can't I think of the Chinese, the early ones, whatever, they're in there. There's, some other stuff, but at any rate, that's kind of my concept as far as how I organize my yard is for controlling the microclimates and stuff. So if that's beneficial to anybody, then that's great.
I like the way you've kind of used the shade and the areas the different areas in your yard, for your different trees, so it's kind of.
Yeah, that was the general thought. I guess there's one other thing I should point out here. These little guys right here, those are my irrigation system. And I have those on separate controllers, not the 2 separate ones, but those are made by DRAM, DRAMM, and it's the one John a few years ago was talking about, the 1,000 holes or whatever. But these are misters. And they're called DRAM Foggits, FOGG-IT, and these are a gallon and a half per minute, and they will blow. Not even zoomed, so you can see them there. And there's another set. This is an L-shaped bench. There's another one over here. But at any rate, when those turn on, it literally is a blast mist that'll go all the way across.
Wow.
And it just gets on the leaves and then drips down into the soil. And I found it to be very effective as far as irrigating completely and thoroughly on the surface of all the soils.
Oh, that's nice.
We have hard water in Elk Grove, so we do have some issues with calcium forming on, particularly there's a big boxwood right there, and it has its leaves for 3 years or so. Same with the pyracantha that's right there. And so it'll get some calcium deposits on the leaves, which is annoying, but you don't have to go out and water every day. There's the infamous pine tree right there.
Yeah, I was saying that looks like the lodge pole there. Yeah.
It is. And my other scrawny stuff, but at any rate, so that's my scheme.
Oh, very nice.
Okay.
Very artistically done. Very nicely done.
All right, so I'm done with that. We're back to you guys. All yours.
Mark,
Yeah.
you might watch those foggers. I had the same system set up for one of my pine trees one year, and I left it on I missed it quite a bit. What happened, it deposited a lot of minerals on the needles,
Yeah.
and eventually it just choked that tree to death.
Did it? Oh, okay.
So watch it. If you get too much of that calcium
Yeah.
deposit on your needles, be sure to somehow or another try to hold some of it off if you
I
can.
don't think so.
Yeah, okay. All right, I've got, on the other side, over on the juniper bench, I set up the same floggers, and I've got a Cedrus Atlantica glauca over there that is collecting
Green
a
one.
lot of calcium on it. So I was concerned about that. That's a good point.
Okay. So who would like to go next with their shade things or their microclimate controls?
Well, I'll show you the opposite of what his is artistically done, and mine's Unitarian. Unitarian? Not Unitarian.
Utilitarian.
Utilitarian. It's all in one spot. It's not as pretty. Now, can I do it? I did a video, and basically we have 4 rows of benches. The first 2 rows are more conifers under 30%, and the last 2 rows are 50%. And our backyard faces the north, and we get a lot of sun in from the west in the late afternoon. Is that right? Well, anyway, we have full sun. So let's see if I can do the video. This one, I think. Let's see. Oh, I need to start it over. Okay. So this, we live in an over 55 community, so we cannot have a permanent structure up. And so these posts have metal poles in the ground that are concrete in, and we screw the big poles into it so we can take it all out. And we just used shade cloth from shadecloth.com. It's where Peter T. And then there's clips that I'll show you. You can see that's holding it on, and we have 15 gauge galvanized wire that we used. And like you also, Mark, we had some wires that we did across to gather some support. And it's not necessarily pretty, but functional. And then I had a couple pictures of the little fasteners, because they're really easy and they're reusable. Are you seeing a trident?
Nope,
Nope.
What are you seeing?
blank.
Like screen.
Blank. Interesting. All right. Well, it worked a minute ago, right, Renee?
Yeah, I did. I'll verify that.
Okay, let's try again. There's got to be easier ways than all this, but let's see. Oh, there. Let's see.
There we go.
So these are the clips, and I have one I can hold up to the camera, but they open it. They have little teeth, and that shows how I put the 50 on the 30 on the right and the 50 on the left, and how I made them come together on the side. And then we had a portion hanging down, because when the sun comes in at a certain angle, it would squeeze through there. And so this part here is your 30, and that's one of the support guide wires. And then this back here is the 50, and we have 50 hanging down. And I messed up how I did the poles, but it was a good mess up, because the position worked out given the angles of the sun, that the 50% covers our back 2 benches well. And this kind of just shows that this is the 30%, the 50%, and they're hooked together by those little clampy things, whatever. And then that's how it looks right now, because we took the 30% off. And the poles here, we used eye bolts and turnbuckles. And I couldn't take this pole out because I have a wire starting here going all the way back to the 4th post. And unlike Mark, his is very efficient. Ours is not, because we have to take it all down. and put
It's
it back
really
up.
attractive though, Dodie. I think it's really attractive because it reminds me of a Japanese nursery. I love it.
Yeah, if we only had, yeah, better quality stuff. But yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you get around watering in and out of there?
The sides are open. This
Uh-huh.
side here is totally open. So it's a one-way in,
Mhm.
which is kind of a pain, particularly at first. But so
How long can you keep it up? You said you need to take it down. I know that the solars are in that kind of place. Nobuko and Gary Solar in that here in Sun City, and he can't put shade cloth up at all. But you're allowed all summer, or you said that it's temporary?
well,
3 months of the summer?
no, actually, when I asked my neighbor about it, I said, because last year we put,
It's happening, period. I can resend.
Steve, we can hear you. I don't know if you want to mute yourself for right now. Last summer we had pop-up tents and it was kind of thrown together. And I asked my neighbor, telling her we're going to be doing this. I said, we had shade structures last summer. And she goes, you did? So it's not a big deal unless somebody complains. But
Well, that's right. I've heard that. Someone has to complain. Well, you have good neighbors then.
yeah, we only have people in our community on one side, and then the back side and the other sides are outside of our community. And I think we did it in a less obtrusive a way that it's not, it looks okay for now. But to show you the clips, I was pretty impressed by these. It's all shadestructure.com, shadecloth.com, and you just clip them and that's what holds the material. And they also will sell you fixed sizes, or you can get a custom size of whatever percentage you need. And it was pretty reasonable. I think ours was 20/20 for 50%, and it was $70, $80, I think. And then this is the wire that we used from Home Depot. So
shadecloth.com. I bought mine, the green stuff up there. That one's at least 10 years old, probably more like 12 or 14. Still going pretty good. But I got mine from a place called GothicArchGreenhouses.com. How I found them, I have no clue. But
Google search.
But it was very reasonable too. You can buy pretty much any size. The roll that they come off of is 12 feet. They will put a binding down the edges, and they charge by the foot for that. And then they'll put brass grommets in, however many you want, and they're like 25 cents a piece and stuff. So that one big cloth was 12 by 17 or something like that, and I'm thinking it was in the $60 or $70 range as well.
Yeah, they do the same thing. We chose not to get the binding, which I'm glad I did because of these clips.
Yeah.
And the fact I didn't cut any of my cloths. They're still the original size, but I was able to roll them so that they weren't flapping around. Yeah.
These, I just put up my cable and then measured, and it's shade cloth, so you're not going to measure to the inch. They recommended kind of going to within 6 inches or so, and then of course I put it up, and it was too long one way and not quite long enough the other way. So you kind of make amends, but at any rate, it's pretty handy. And depending on how you want to do it, I bound ours and put the grommets in just because we wanted a nice clean edge, because like I say, it's primarily for people. I'm just hiding bonsais around it,
Yeah.
Very good. So who's next? Carmen?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I took a video, so we'll see what happens. I just clicked share screen, right?
Yeah, you need to have the video open on your desktop.
It is.
Okay.
Okay. And okay.
Hi, I live in Reading and I have intense sun, very hot. So I have this patio cover that was over my house when I first moved in 30 years ago. And I bought shade cloth, and this is 75% shade cloth, so a little bit much, but it seems to work for me. I got the shade cloth, I made grommets, and they hook over screws in the post. I can roll it back in the winter, which I usually do at least 2 of them. So it runs the entire length of the house. So I've got quite a bit of room. The pines are always out to the outside so that they can get maximum.
Oh, you captured a better, a hummingbird.
Oh, yeah.
Places, but
He's a
Beautiful maple.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
Gorgeous.
We planted that. Okay, stop share. So I did it the hard way, and I actually got, what is it, kind of like a drapery lining, not a lining, but the header used to reinforce drapes. And I actually reinforced every single one of those shade cloth things, because this is before I knew you could order it, because this is about 8 years ago. And sewed it, put the grommets in myself, put the screws in the beams, stretched it all across. My only problem was when it snowed, like about 6 inches, and it pulled some of the grommets out, because some of them I reinforced with the drapery stuff and some I didn't. So they've lasted a long time now with a very little maintenance.
Looks good.
So Denise, Denise was having trouble getting logged in, so she's now with us. So
Okay.
welcome, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. Is my mic on?
Did you have something to share?
No, I just didn't know if my mic was on.
Yeah,
Your
you're
mic
on.
is on, yes.
Oh, okay. Hello. Happy to be here.
Hello, Renee. Steve here.
Hi, Steve.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I see
I'm hiding back in here. If anybody, I've spent most of the morning setting this up so you could see. This is supposed to be a Shimpaku juniper that I got from the Sacramento Bonsai Club raffle. It was a workshop / raffle thing that we did that night.
Okay.
And this is one of the specimens. It used to have a main branch down here. If I can do that without getting my hand all the way down here, that was much taller. And I decided that I liked this trunk line coming up here. So I cut that off. It was supposed to be a cascade. So no, I didn't want a cascade. So I stood it up, and this is what I have for right now.
Oh, very nice. It looks like it's very healthy.
I took the wire off it a couple months ago, and it looks like I need to wire it again and tip these a little bit. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get like that.
You want me to spotlighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. How should I proceed? Should I cut? But I'm gonna wire something like that. If it works out, yeah. So I'm just a little unsure when it comes to cutting these. How should I go about it? I know not to go like that, not that, but to get the scissors down in there and tip it a little bit. So would it be proper to kind of like just right something like that?
Steve, on that branch that you just had the scissor on, I wouldn't cut that. I let that one run, because if you look at the size of that branch compared to the one that's on the other, directly opposite it, that one.
Yeah, that's a lot thicker.
It's a lot thicker. So you need to get the other branch, that one, about the same size so that it's in a little bit more proportion. So I would just let that one grow and let it run wild.
Okay, okay. That's the whole purpose of doing these meetings, to educate myself some more as to how to do that and why. So what I might do is wire it and just not cut anything, just wire it down a little to be able to show some things.
Yeah, because you have a lot of those long tips, it's healthy. It's growing.
Oh
So
yeah,
do let it grow, like Vince said.
It's real happy. It gets watered. I have a drip system that's got little sprayers that just squirt up in the air, like a little fountain. And so all on one bench that I have, everything gets overhead watering that way, and that's how this gets watered.
I would reduce some of the vigorous growth.
Here. This one's supposed to be a Kishu.
Steve, did you hear Vince?
Yes.
He was talking about your first one.
The first one. What did you want me to do?
The upper portion of the tree.
I think in order to keep your tree in more proportion, the upper growth, the upper branches. No, the one that's has the real long leader, that one.
That one.
You should shorten that one. Otherwise, a lot of the energy is getting to that branch, and it's going to get thicker.
Okay.
And you don't want that branch to get too much, out of proportion with the rest of them. So if you don't cut that off, it's going to keep on growing, and it's going to get slightly out of proportion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would thicken up this branch too much here.
Right.
Right in here, that would thicken that up too much.
Where do you recommend cutting it, Vince?
It's hard.
It's just gonna go like snip.
I would go a lot shorter than that. Probably somewhere around in that area.
Okay.
Something like that.
Too short.
Yeah, just about right there.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
We are participating in an active workshop here.
Should he thin the top of it at all?
You should take a little off the top too, so that you push the energy down to that bottom branch. Most of your energy right now is going up to the top.
Yeah,
you want to slow the top down a little bit and push the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, I can thin this out a little because there's other branches that's pushing right up into it, making it look.
Would you cut the longer ones or the shorter ones?
That one. Oops, that one.
That's what I was
Right about there. It comes out. If I can show it right. Let's see it very well. Let me get a little light right down in there. Yeah, the branch. Yeah, all I need to do is thin it out a little bit. And probably right about there.
Okay.
So I'll thin this out a little more so you can kind of see through it a little bit later on today. So, and then I'll just wire them down because like I said, a couple months ago, I took the wire off of it. So it needs new wire again, just to look at it. So anyway, that was supposed to be a Shimpaku juniper from the Sacramento Bonsai.
Cool.
And this one is supposed to be a Kishu juniper from the American Bonsai. And this one was all wired and twisted up by Boone. It was just a last minute decision on his part during the meeting that he just wrapped some wire around this little guy and just twisted it all up. And this was part of the raffle. And so just wondering, I might have to tip something like that a little bit. It's a little bushy in here, a little thick. But I think I'll just rewire it again and twist it all up some more. Bring this up a little. And because I don't care for that trailing down too much. So I think I'll just twist that all up some more.
It's so flexible.
Yeah, it's just a little guy. Right here, curls all the way around in a full circle right here. Goes all the way around. I don't know if I can see that very well. Yeah. There's one that goes all the way around in a full circle. Sometimes I look at them from the top to see, oh, that one's just sticking out all kind of weird by itself, and move them back in a little bit. You know.
You see that your trunk, if you look at it right there, it's awful straight right there.
Yeah.
How big a diameter is that trunk there?
Well, here's an ink pen.
Oh.
I think if you put a big wire around the base of that, then you can put a little bit of bend right in that section of the trunk. Either that or tip the pot so that trunk is not standing straight up. You might have a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of difference right there.
And then twist them around. Yeah, I never really noticed that before.
Yeah, I think you can still put a little bit of movement in that, and not much, but you still can get a little bit of bend in that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Are you thinking about it being a multiple trunk tree or a single trunk tree? Do you have a thought on that?
Well, I think it's just single trunk, but
only got one trunk.
Get it a little more. So if I kind of lay it
tilt it that way. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And then do some twisting one way or another. Yeah.
Did you put it in that pot, or is that the original pot?
I put it in this pot 6 months to, or more than 6 months ago, probably.
Oh, okay.
It was just in a little bitty pot, like 2 by 2 inch, a little pot, just a seedling kind of pot.
Okay.
And so, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Tip it a little. When I do repot it, tip it, but I can get some more.
Do you recommend keeping the bottom branches the length they are? We're shortening them up. Vince, Kathy, Carmen, anybody?
That looks kind of interesting what you're doing right there.
Yeah, if I put a big wire on it and just bend it.
Give it some movement.
Yeah, I'd say wire it and let it grow.
Movement.
Yeah, then let it grow. I'd keep those lower ones because anything thicker is better. So
Yeah, you never know what happens like when it grows too.
Yeah.
Anything cut the lower branch, the little things dangling down, but it needs to grow.
Yeah, it's just a little guy, and it's probably maybe 3 years old, you think? It was just a little bitty thing when I got it.
I remember when you won that, yes.
Yeah, it was in the American Bonsai. Boone was there that night. And this was just a little he just at the last minute wrapped it all up and said, here, let's raffle this one off too. And that's why, and I got it. Supposed to be Kishu. So yeah, this one goes all the way around in a full circle. here.
You should trade seats.
And so I could probably twist it up some more. So yeah, it's a good comment, Vince, to bend that a little.
Yeah.
So
Now, I remember years ago, somebody made a comment, one of the speakers, and they were talking about bending, medium-sized branches like that. And seems to me they recommended kind of working them back and forth and loosening up the bark between the wood of the tree and the bark of the tree and letting it slip a little, particularly on junipers. And so you kind of knead it back and forth and loosen it up and then wire it as opposed to just putting a wire on it and bending it once, and you would have better luck, and then the tree heals itself back to the wood. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Doesn't that sound like Kathy Junior?
Massaging, yes.
Yeah.
Massaging branches.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
does
I mean,
sound
like that,
Debbie knows about that.
but even go the other way a couple of times and that sort of thing, but I don't know, it just, that lecture kind of went, oh, that reminded me as soon as you were just kind of doing the one-way bend there, that you go back and forth the other ways and work it loose and loosen it up a little and then wire it.
yeah. Okay. Let me go get that other one that I had out here earlier. And while everybody else gets to chat a little bit, and I'll put that one there, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a different one.
Renee, did you get the picture of the little one I sent to you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Did you want to share that?
Yeah, and I just grabbed some scissors and I'll grab the plant, and I don't know if it's young enough that I just need to let it grow or if I should do anything to it.
Well, actually, putting a little wire on it now when it's really young and putting a little movement in it, that's probably the best thing you can do right now.
Should I wait until spring when I repot it and I can really see what the root system, since I stuck it in this bonsai soil, I haven't looked at how the roots have developed.
I know you could go ahead and put some wire on it right now. Just put a little wire on it, and I did get your photos, and I can share.
Yeah, it's just I brought it in, I think, at one of your workshops, and this is the type of juniper is the one that he mentioned too, and the one that starts with an S.
Shinpaku?
Yes, that's what it is. And so just wire, but leave even that tiny little branch at the bottom.
Do you want to just show your tree for me?
Oh yeah, let me switch it around. So this one, for people who haven't heard the story.
I'm a spotlighter.
Yeah, okay, and let me switch my camera around. So this one, the very first workshop before I even joined the club, I took a bunch of cuttings and I didn't have any sand to stick them in, so I stuck them in a jar of water.
Whoops. Uh-oh, we lost audio.
Lost your audio.
We lost audio, Denise.
Okay, there you go. I unmuted. I don't know. So anyway, this was my little miracle juniper that sprouted roots just sitting in water on my kitchen sink. And so then I really let it even sit too long in the water growing roots, and I finally months ago put it in the soil and have done absolutely nothing to it. And it's kind of one-sided, but anyway, I have scissors handy, Vince.
Let it grow.
Let it grow. Okay, just give it some movement and let it grow.
Put a piece of wire on it. Yep.
I didn't know about that one little guy who's really close to the ground, close to the soil.
Now just thicken your trunk up a little bit. Let it grow.
Okay.
The main thing is if you're going to wire it, is that you tie that tree into your pot. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if you're wiring it and moving it, it might come out of the pot.
That's what I was thinking. So you think this is a time of year I can, or to why? See, it's not in the bonsai pot, but that's okay. It's got holes on the bottom. So you think I should stick, without pulling it out, just stick some wires in here? No, I don't know. Tell me what you're saying to do.
Do you have holes on the bottom?
Yeah, this 4-inch pot has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes on the bottom.
Okay, just get some wire and stick it from the bottom up.
Oh, okay.
Right through the soil and tie your tree into the pot.
Okay. And I'll do
Then
the
you can
4 corners. Because I don't want to stick wire and poke the roots.
It won't make any difference.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So wire it down and then give it, you know what, it's actually a little stiff.
That's why you need to wire it now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you wait any longer, you're not going to be able to put any movement in that trunk at
It
all.
has a tiny movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
What size wire do you have, Denise?
Oh, I think I bought a variety pack. So,
Okay, so
I
you-
have
You've got
the whole thing.
You can take the last 2 inches or something of a wire and then lay it against the trunk. And
Yes.
if the wire bends, it's not strong enough. And then you know you have to go to a little bit larger wire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to bend it with 2 hands. See if I can leave this so you can see. Oh, there, look at this. Just want to kind of, I've just been afraid to even touch it. Oh yeah, this still, whoops, there.
Oh yeah,
It's got movement, yeah.
What size wire, Vince, do you think that would take? What size wire? Probably like a 10 copper?
Is she using
I don't think
copper?
she
Are you
needs
using
copper,
copper or are you
yeah.
using aluminum?
Yeah.
How
Aluminum.
about like a aluminum?
Denise, you're using aluminum wire?
You know what, other than Renee's workshops and, yeah, I've never wired here, so I forget what little variety pack. I think I have a copper one, but I don't know if I even know the numbers. So say in relation to the size of this, which is about a 2 or 3 millimeter, would I use something that's about half the diameter of this, half the thickness of the trunk?
If you're using aluminum wire, yes.
Okay. Let me go see if I can see what it is. I'm embarrassed to show how messy my garage is. Let me see. Let's find the wire. Let's see, I'm gonna switch you here. Cover you here. There.
Censored.
Censored.
Didn't know skin turned red. Or she has a red shirt on, one of the two.
No, that's my thumb. That's my thumb over the camera.
That's interesting.
I
guess we can see through her skin to the blood.
Yeah.
I guess so. Interesting. I don't even know where my variety pack is. I haven't looked for.
If worst comes to worst, could you take a wire coat hanger?
No. I have some. Okay, hold on here. Hold on. Come on back.
Worst comes to worst, you could bring it over and we could do it in my garage.
Okay. Yeah, do a field trip. Okay, so
Do a field trip.
I
yeah.
have a couple scraps here. Oh, this looks like these. Oh, these two. Those are scraps. And then this. I don't think this is my variety pack.
Is that aluminum?
Made in China.
Aluminum.
This is bonsai wire. Oops, sorry. There. Doesn't say, it says the diameter.
1.5 millimeters, it says right there.
1.5.
Yeah, and then this one says, this one, if you can read it, it says 2.5 millimeter, weight 50 grams, just says bonsai wire. I guess it looks like it's silver in the center.
It's aluminum.
Okay.
So hold it against the trunk so we can compare.
Okay, this is.
Try that.
That's a big,
That's the thicker of the two, which is about a third of the diameter, maybe. Maybe
I don't
less.
think that's going to be strong enough to bend it.
Yeah, just to
Could
the
she
feel
double
of
it
it.
up, Vince? Could she
What?
double up the wire, Vince?
She could, yeah.
She's got a
Or I
big
could-
one there.
She
I
says
could
a
just-
bigger one.
I could just drive over to Renee's, do a field trip. I'll wear a mask.
we can wear a mask, yes. Just bring it over here.
Okay. All right. I'll text you when this is over, and
We can decide a date.
we can figure out a date. And yay! All right. Yay! Zoom call. Got the fire under my feet. I've just been so happy that I kept most everything alive through the hot summer.
Yeah.
That's a
Nice and healthy.
It's a plus.
that's a
Yes.
huge plus, yes.
Okay.
An accomplishment for sure.
Yes. Yes. Okay. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Who's next? Who would like to be next?
Puppy dog.
I have one.
Tessa does.
You want to show it? Or how you want to do it? Yeah, well, Paul's got something.
Okay, cool.
It's not Juniper.
Go.
Here, you
Go.
go.
Okay, this is a trident maple run over rock.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
It's
oh,
not
nice.
right?
This was put on this rock. It's been growing for 2 summers. The box was about this level, and I've lowered the soil 2 times down to here. This side has lots of roots on it. The other side has less. The rock goes all the way to the bottom of the box.
Wow.
That's the other side there. I didn't know if this winter I should repot it or just lower the soil again. And it looks like maybe the roots on one side are too thick. I don't know if they should be thinned out a little bit maybe.
Vince? Vince?
Somebody else answer that question.
Vince?
Yeah, I think you probably thin out a few of the branch roots. You have a couple that are crossing. One is underneath, right? That one is underneath that crossing one. I would
Take that one out.
I would probably take the one that's underneath it out.
Okay.
And then the little one that's right next to it, yeah, that one. No, the other one, right between the two, right, that one.
Both of these two?
Yeah.
Okay, because
And
they're
I let the rest
underneath.
grow.
Okay. Now,
Because you can always take it out later.
You mean you can always cut the root out later?
Well, yeah, just let it develop a little bit more, make sure everything's growing good, and then you can always eliminate the roots later. In fact, you might even take out. All depends on how it develops. You might even take out the bigger ones and save one of the smaller ones. It all depends on how it's growing and grasping the rock.
yeah, this one is not really grasping the rock at all. Right here, there's a little gap.
Can you look at, yeah.
Right through here,
Right.
see the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a pretty big root and it does wrap around. What would you do with that one? It's never going to grasp that rock, I don't think.
Personally, I'd leave it and put some dirt in there and see if some little feeder roots break off of it up closer.
Okay.
I'm looking at these, the roots that are kind of wrapped around each other there. That might be something.
Here?
Let's see, no, on the other side.
The picture.
Picture in the right corner, bottom right corner.
Right there. Right there?
No.
No.
Over farther.
And the one that's
I
going
can I annotate? Let's see, can I annotate? It won't let me annotate.
Able to.
Can I annotate? Annotate. I'm going to try to annotate. If it'll let me, it's not letting me. Darn
Okay,
it.
I see it. Yeah.
I see your arrow.
Well, I just put this one in. I don't know if
Oh.
that's what you meant, Renee. Do you see that?
Yeah, Renee.
Not that one. Over on
Okay.
the other side. The other side.
Okay.
Other side. If you go to the other side of the tree, all the way over. I don't. Where are you?
Can you
That's
see
the other
his?
side of the tree, way over.
Which one am I looking at? That's not the right side of the tree. I'm looking at the other side of the tree.
The other picture.
Up
The
here.
other picture.
Oh, the other photo. Okay.
Top one.
Oh,
Dang it, why can't I annotate?
Mhm.
I won't let me annotate. Supposed to be able to annotate. We're supposed to be able to annotate on somebody else's photo, right?
Yes, because I just did it. So Renee, do you want
Oh, there we go. I got
the
it.
top picture or okay?
Hold on. I got it.
Okay,
I got it. I
Okay.
got it. I think I can do this.
go for it.
Right here. See how those two roots are crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that be something you would want to correct right now, Vince? Take out one of those roots or see if you can separate them so they're not crossing over.
Right, I was
like
just
that.
wondering if you can, I was just wondering if you can separate them.
Yeah, if you could separate them. Sometimes when you repot, you can actually separate them and, put them in the right position.
Okay. If I'm doing that kind of work, it would have to be repotting, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It almost to the point of bare rooting it.
Right. And then would you plant it lower? I mean, have the soil lower on the sides or put it back the way it was?
I think if you're going to do any work on your roots, I think I would put it back to where you have it now,
Okay.
the level that you have now.
Okay.
That on that same picture, that root that you were talking about that was not clinging,
Yes.
is there any way you can pull that root down to the rock by using some plastic protection on that root and then wire it and pulling it down?
I tried to move it with my finger and it didn't really flex very much. I can try that with a wire and, put a cushion over the top of it and then,
If you use your finger and push down on it, if it gives a little bit, then I think you can do it. If it won't move at all when you push on it with your thumb,
yes.
then it's not going to move at all. Then I would just do what Kathleen said. I would put soil in that area.
Would you put like muck in there?
Yeah, some muck and with a little bit of moss in there. See if you can. It'll develop a root right there at where the void is, right in that area, and then maybe pull it straight down.
Okay.
A root that come if you do develop a root there, bring it down over the rock.
Okay.
But I would leave that bigger. I would leave it the way it is.
That's kind of an important root.
Yeah, it is, I think.
Yeah.
would you scrape underneath of it to maybe get the rooting to start when you put before you put
Throw a
your
little root tone on there.
rooting hormone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, somebody had the arrow right at the end of that same root, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you repot, is it possible for you to reposition that, the base of that root to the left?
Over here?
Right, so that it's not crossing your rock like that. It'll put a bend in there and show the slope of your rock a little bit better.
Try to do that. Ask him if that's
Down this way?
Right, but not there. Further down.
This
right.
way.
Yeah, right. Way down. A little bit further.
Okay.
Where that little bend is. You see where that little bend in that? Who's right there?
Right here. Okay.
If you can make that bend right there and pull it to the left.
Whoops.
That would make make it so that it shows your rock. You know, it's following that rock a little bit better. The slope.
I don't know. Did we get out of shared screen?
No, it's better. Before you were stuck on a picture, and so I wasn't seeing anything being pointed to.
Interesting.
There. Now it's better. Oops. Yeah. Now you're back to the same two pictures.
Okay. Okay.
Just stop shared if you're done.
It's got a nice curve around to the right, just at the base of that root, bring it around to the left.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, who's next? Somebody else have questions or something to share? Kathleen?
Well, I have something if we want to see it, but I think Steve went and got a different tree that he had. He had one more that he wanted to show.
Where are you?
So,
Steve,
did you want to go back to what you were going to say?
Steve, you want to share your tree?
Sure, I could share this one.
I'll spotlight it.
Yeah. This one is this was the big raffle prize that Yuzo did probably 5-6 years ago. And it's changed quite a bit since I've had it. This is the original, what looks like a fern. I'm not sure if it's a real fern, but it looks like a fern.
Can I break in just a minute? Are you spotlighting him right now?
Yes. Yes.
All I see is somebody's yard.
Uh-oh, that's me.
Really?
That's all you see?
Yeah, that's
With
all
my
I see.
hand?
That's been spotlighted.
Oh, because it's not
I'll cancel
spotlighted for me.
spotlight.
Oh, that's interesting. I see the rock planting.
I'm going to go back to cancel spotlight Steve again.
Yeah.
How
I see
about you,
Steve.
Vince? What are you seeing?
I still see the yard.
You do?
Yes.
How do you see something different than we do?
Can you click on Steve's thing and make it large yourself, Vince?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I do see Denise's yard. Oh, you know what?
The dish planting?
It's your...
Does everybody see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, so gives you an idea how big it is. It's on a lava rock. It's solid rock too. This thing's real heavy. This was part of the original planting that Yuzo put on it. And then this is a dwarf mondo grass that the roots go way down here with some muck on it. It's all, and then this is just a volunteer fern. I wanted to show it before it gets cold weather and all this goes, dormant and half dead, because every year it's different. This is a little Satsuki Azalea that I started as a cutting.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have had the trunk more laying against the rock. It sticks out a little bit from the rock. Let's see if it works out a little better to see. I would have liked to have had this more closer to the rock, but I think I can do that because this is just a volunteer fern. Some more, all moss on the rock, but this was Yuzo's original creation. It's changed over the years. just because of the nature that it is, it had a whole lot of muck on it, and I decided that, well, it was just a great big ball of moss for a while.
Yeah.
That's not the concept that he wanted. He wanted a plant on a rock. So I peeled a lot of, just took the garden hose and kind of washed it off. Some of this down here at the bottom just barely clings on down in here, just barely holds on. But interesting. It changes every year, because of just the nature of the creation that it itself is. A lot of just moss on it. And then there's this cute little fern, just volunteer. I have a lot of ferns in the back corner of my yard, and obviously the spores just go all over.
So Steve, maybe I should call on Lucy to answer a little bit of this, but I'm thinking that the azalea needs to be cut back.
Well,
Lucy, are you there still? Oh, she's on mute.
Yeah, this one way down here,
fine.
I've cut it a little bit. I cut one thing off today that was coming from way down here at the base. It was just sticking out, so I cut that off.
Well, I think they take on azaleas, they cut them back and leave just a couple of leaves. If you take the end and work your way back, maybe Dolores or whoever's the azalea person online here could kind of speak to it.
Dolores could probably give you some.
Yeah, Dolores, can you say something?
Well, you probably could wire it so that you get more upright growth on that top end. Does that bloom at all for you?
It bloomed just a little bit this year.
Okay. Do you get any little?
Got some little buds down in here that's working on for next year.
Is the top of the where's the top of the tree? It almost looks like it's folded back down.
It is folded back down. Up here.
Because I was wondering if it was possible to wire it up a little bit and more towards the top.
Comes down. There. That's the angle you get to see all of it.
Well, you might want to pull that up a little higher so it's a little taller than the rock.
Yeah, this is the end of it. So
Maybe it could lay across the rock instead of laying flat like that.
It could. It's been on here for about 2 years now. This azalea. Well, the azalea Yuzo put on it hung way over on the side, and it just I was still too young, unwilling at the time to just cut it. I mean, cut it right down to nothing. But it's worked out. So yeah, this right here is the actual end of it, the tip, and then just a branch off of it, a little thicker branch off of it, in here. So yeah, you could maybe even curl it around some more.
Right, or you could bring it down all together like that and then consider this the front over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty too.
Yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah.
And then if you get any kind of a shoot from the upper point, you might want to consider going the other way with it somehow to make it a little, I don't know whether I want to say taller, but at least give it some interest to where it looks like it's coming over that way.
Yeah, because as it sits on the bench, this is the sunny side, and so that's probably why the plant is trying to reach out this way more than back this way. So if I
Right.
turn it around on the bench,
If you bring that branch that's closest to the top on this side, the little one, will it kind of lay out in this direction if you change your sunlight?
it may turn a little bit.
So you
'Cause,
may
yeah,
fill
right
out
now
this
it
side.
turns back this way.
Right.
It turns this way towards the sun. So if I put it on the bench and turn it around, because I'd kind of like this branch, the trunk, laying like almost like a root on the rock, but to use the trunk itself.
Kind of like an espalier. Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking? Like a espalier where the thing grows right on the rock?
Sort of.
Well, you
yeah.
could put a, like Vince said, some kind of a cushioning and then pull the top portion tighter to the rock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I think I could get some kind of wire wedged in here, real heavy wire, and pull it
over, yeah.
Pull it down a little.
But azaleas have fairly thin bark, so you want to cushion that bark a little bit and not damage the bark.
And I think they can snap too, can't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I would just bend it a little like that,
Carefully,
and then a month
yeah.
later pull it down.
Yeah,
some
just
more.
to give it, and then give it more light on that side and the top. And you might get some branching up there that would give you a little more interest or a little length to work with at least.
Yeah, it's just it. Like I said, every year it changes dramatically. It changes, you know. So it's just interesting. I like it.
It's fun, yes. It's a new
Yes,
fun piece.
Like I said, after you use, once it gets settled after having it, it was just a ball of moss with stuff on it. And so then I peeled back a lot of the muck on it. And like
Does somebody else have something to show?
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
Sure, I do. If you want to
Kathleen does.
see that. Okay.
Thanks,
so
Steve. That
go
was
for it?
beautiful.
You're welcome. I wanted to show it because when the weather gets cold, it's going to change. All this fern is going to die back. I cut it right flush to the rock. This
I hate to be the
have to peel
person
off.
that speaks up, but you're repeating yourself over and over again. So can we just move on, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Kathleen, did you have something?
I did. Okay. Well, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a shimpaku that I bought years ago on one of our bus trips. And it's gotten really lanky, and it's pretty tall. It's about 3 feet tall or something. And you can see that it's starting to finally get some back budding in there on the trunk. And so I think I could possibly be able to improve the tree. But, you know, it's that dang thing of that you'd have to cut some of this growth off that's at the end. And, you know, you go through that ugly teenage stage again. And I'm not sure, you know, maybe I should just not cut it real heavily all the way back to the first green stuff, or I'm wondering, I can hear some kind of buzzing noise. Sounds like somebody's already got a chainsaw going. They're ready to cut. But anyway, I just keep showing that over and over again is what the little video is, to get you a little bit better picture of how far back it's budded in there and how long these
really grown out a lot.
Yeah, these things are. So I thought I'd get some feedback from those of you who've been doing this for a while.
Maybe we'll have some workshops this spring.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be a good subject.
If you're working to cut it back, is this the time to do it?
You could, yeah. The thing that I would recommend is to encourage the back budding on it, to go in and clean out a lot of this old weak foliage that's on the inside. Just clean it out really good so that the light gets back in there, and that will encourage those back buds to grow better.
So
And
rather than, Renee, just so I understand you, so rather than tip the outside end, leave the edge, the outer growth strong, and
Yes.
remove some of the stuff that's more on the lanky stuff, but that's closer in. I don't know. I'm not able to explain it very well. I probably should have. Let me see if I can annotate this. If I can bring the thing.
Basic like they do a poodle's tail. You clean it all
Yeah,
up. leave
that's
the
what
poop
I
on the end.
wanted.
actually, that's kind of what I was going to share. That was my share thing for the day.
Oh, okay.
It was that Cascade Juniper that I got from Don Castleman's collection that I bought for a demo tree, but it's been growing, and it needed to be thinned out and cleaned out, and it's the same thing. It's grown way out and it needs to back bud. So
you can do some of this stuff that's back here and leave the stuff that's over here.
Yeah, you'd go through and just, a lot of this weak foliage that's back inside, thin all of that out, leave the really strong growing tips, and to encourage the back buds. And then you go in and, actually you go back in and start selecting some of the stuff that's back budding now. Go back in and pick out stuff that you want to use, and kind of get rid of the stuff that you don't want to use.
Okay.
But kind of, have to be looking at it now and thinking, okay, what am I going to use here to build this tree with?
Okay.
And then kind of select the back buds that will give you the branches that you want.
I kind of thought all that, but I just wanted to get some confirmation, that I'm thinking
If
about
somebody
it.
else has something they want to add to that, feel free.
So it's going to end up looking like you're going to have this outer canopy of tips, but all of this stuff on the inside, you're going to cut almost all of that back, those thin ones coming off, and just leave one going out, because you're not going to want any of that. It's all going to be in that interior. So you need none of those little things going all over the place.
So you're just
Oh, really? So you mean, whoops.
like that? I tried to do something here. Like I'm trying to didn't do it right.
I was
That one that
thinking,
you're
what I
crossing-
understood her to say was more that you're thinking that I should get rid of some of these.
No.
No.
No, I thought
Okay. I thought,
Up higher.
okay.
oh, that's not that.
But the thick one you
Dead
keep.
branches.
Like that,
Where are you?
that skinny one, the pink
Yeah,
one.
Yes.
Yeah, those are
And
easy
the one
to
right
get rid of.
next to it. And then you've got a thicker branch next to that, and then the one next to that is pretty thin and puny. So you would cut that off. Anything that has a big end tip. So you're going to look like you have an outer shell of fresh, clean needles, and then the inside is what you really want. And even those, like I noticed farther down on the trunk, they're almost coming down off of the trunk. You want them coming out of the branches. So the ones coming off the trunks, they're never going to be thick enough to be an actual branch. So you can just get rid of those, because they're not going to help you either. And then make sure there's enough light coming through. But you've got to clean out about half of those, 2/3 of those, but leave the strongest growing outside tips. Right, Renee? Yes?
Yeah. Got to get rid of a lot of that weak foliage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could we see a shot of it from farther out again? Because it looks nice. I think it's going to look really nice.
I have a question about fertilizing at this time of year.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you, I don't know when you fertilized it last, but would she do some more fertilizing at this time of year?
I would say so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yes, it's a time to fertilize.
Yep. through November.
I just put some more fertilizer on my junipers.
Me too.
Peter keeps saying more fertilizer, more fertilizer. So, yeah.
Yeah, so with the additional light and some more fertilizer, you might get quite a bit of nice new growth to cut back to.
Good, sounds good. Well, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'll stop sharing screen. Next.
Renee, I want to see yours.
I guess it would be appropriate now, since we're discussing the overgrown junipers. Just a moment, let me get my thing up. Juniper slideshow. Share screen.
Save it.
Okay, so this is the juniper, and it's really way grown out, but it's growing strong. You can see all the nut. Oops, let's see. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you can see all the nice strong growing tips. So it's really healthy. It just is way grown out and needs to be thinned out. I bought it for a demo tree, but I can't just let it sit there and go to pot and not do anything with it. So here we are. This is just another shot to show the growing tips. And one of the problems that with this tree, there was a lot of dead branches on it, and you could see the holes here. It had a really horrible case of borers, so it lost some of the branches. You can see here the borer holes.
Oh, wow.
All over. I gave it a good shot of the systemic merit imidacloprid. So, and that supposedly will kill the larval forms of the borers. So hopefully won't have any more of that going on. This is just another, like Kathleen's, to show how grown out it is and leggy it is. And it's just starting to get some little back buds in here. So I went through, and this is just another shot to show how leggy it is. This is just to show a lot of the old foliage that's back in here. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, this is like this really old foliage that's dying back in here. This is the stuff that you go in and you thin it out and take it all out, and you leave these nice growing tips so that the plant stays strong, and then it will start back, it'll back bud, and the back buds will get healthy.
Okay, I have a question about that. So you're cutting out those scrawny ones.
Yes.
And then you're going to end up with more legginess, but the point is not to keep the legginess in the long run, it's to encourage back budding. Is that
right.
true?
That's true, because this foliage will never grow. I mean, if you cut the tree back and cut all these nice healthy growing tips off and left this behind thinking that this is going to grow, that it won't. It's dying and it's falling off. And if you go in and you can feel it when you go in to remove it, you can just practically touch it and it falls off because it's getting ready to shed it anyway. So this will weaken the tree. If you leave all of this on the tree, it will weaken it because it's still, even though it is dying, it will still take energy from the tree. So you want all the energy to go out to these growing tips. So by taking off all of this inside weak foliage, it will really strengthen the tree.
Okay.
They're all drawings. Okay, next. Come on. Oh, I know what I gotta do. I'm just learning how
That
to
was good though, Renee, because we just kind of showed one and then confirmed it with the next presentation.
And this is just a branch I cut off to show you know, the weak foliage back behind. And the, whoops, where is that? Annotate.
So would you cut it all back from, I don't know if you can see my thing from there back?
All of these things you would
Can't see
clean off, all of this old foliage back in here. If you look at it closely, none of this stuff has this nice healthy tip on it. These are the growing tips. This is where this is where the tree is investing its energy, is out here in these tips. This stuff only weakens it. And if you look at it, you can see it's not growing at all. It's just getting ready to fall off. Oops.
And Renee, would you do any thinning on the strong tips as well? If there's a whole bunch of them?
If you wanted to thin it out a little bit, you can do that. This is what it looks like after. This is the after picture.
Wow.
When it's all cleaned off.
You actually have some juvenile foliage in there too.
Pardon?
You had some juvenile foliage, just a tad.
Yeah, probably there might be some juvenile foliage. And this is,
show us where you would cut back or did you, oh, you already did.
Yeah, this is the after.
That's the after.
After I've gone through and cleaned it all out. But now what needs to be done is it needs to be wired and maybe thinned out a little bit more. I don't like to thin it too much. The new stuff, I don't like to thin it too much until I wire it. And then when I put wire on it, I make decisions about, you know, what I would like to, you know, thin out even more with the healthier foliage. But I didn't have time to wire it. So anyway, that's my show and tell share thing.
Nice.
Great.
Great job, Renee. I liked seeing the before and after with that little teeny branchette.
Can you show the original, the first one that shows the before?
Let's see if I can do that. Previous.
Nice lesson.
Go to slide. See where it says go to slide?
That one?
No. See, it says go to slide in the middle of your menu. Go back to where you were.
There.
Go to slide and then hit one.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
There.
Wow. What a difference.
Yeah, that looks great.
Well, it actually doesn't look. I don't think it looks. I think it looks, you know, like a skinned chicken right now. But that's what you got to do to get things to back bud and to get the tree, you know, to grow healthy.
So that area that looks darker green, it's kind of in the lower, at the very bottom of the right. That was mostly taken out, right? That doesn't have anything. Very few growing tips.
A lot of it was taken out. Yeah.
To the bottom right.
By your chair, over by your chair.
Right. The right.
The right.
The other right.
The other
right.
My other right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay.
It just all looks darker green right there.
Yeah. A lot of it was taken out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you kind of go in and you pull off the stuff that's growing down, because that weakens the tree. You know, you want the growth to be, you know, focused up toward the sun. So you take off the stuff that's growing on the bottom, and you know, it will get healthier.
Renee, you said that you were planning on using this as a demo tree. So does that mean that you will or will not be wiring it?
Well, you know, in order to really get it to grow strong and to back bud, you kind of need to lay out the foliage so you can get this, you know, the light and stuff back in it. So I don't know, maybe I'll just for fun wire it. I don't know.
Who knows when we'll have a demo?
Yeah, who knows when we'll have another demo.
True.
Maybe that will be the demo. I'll wire it. We'll have a virtual demo.
You know, that'd be great, actually. I'd love to see you wire it virtually.
Well, I could wire it and then, share it after it's wired.
Take a few pictures as you proceed so we don't sit there for hours watching you wire.
Yeah, you don't want.
Then you could show us that first shot of before it was thinned, the thinned shot, and then
go back to the last
4 or 5 pictures.
And I'll go back to the last one again.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
So
Renee will give you a month to do that. for our next workshop.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, you know,
I have a couple questions though. So is the long, it's got such long branches. It's not going to backbud on the long ones, right?
nope. It'll only back bud at the base of these smaller branches.
Okay.
It will not back bud in here. So then the question is, do we want to, number one, do we want to graft? You know, we could take some of these longer growing tips possibly and graft back into some of these areas, or just, you know, cut them off and have a much smaller tree. That would be a good thing for discussion. We could discuss, you know, what we wanted to do, you know, how would we want to style this tree? You know, where would we want to go with it? It's kind of hard from pictures though. You can't really see really well.
You can tell him that.
But, you know, that would be a good discussion on how would we want to style this tree?
Are we looking at the front right now?
Well, I don't really know what the front is actually.
Well, that's another issue as to how long you want to have it, is where's the front?
Yeah, where is the front? I should have spun it around and did a video so you could see it from all sides.
But being a juniper, are any of those long branches bendable? That's the other question.
The smaller ones are, like this one, you could, you know, bend it a little bit, but I don't think you could bend it very much.
I bet Vince could.
Vince could,
Oh,
yeah.
that could be part of his demo.
Hey, Vince, yeah.
Hey.
Don't bring this for your
Maybe
demo.
we could do this in December, November.
It's November, huh?
This will be a tree that shows up in a lot of different programs in the future. You know, it can be bent, it can be wired.
Well, if you did do some wiring on the heavy branches, even if they weren't really big bends, would that aggravate the bark enough that it might bud back within those new bends?
Well, I really don't know. I can't answer that. I haven't actually seen that happen, but it might. Have you had experience with that, Dolores?
No, I just know that, especially on the azaleas, going back to Steve's azalea, that if you lay things out and get light in there and do some bending, it will encourage new growth in those open areas. And I didn't know if junipers would do the same thing or not, but that's, you know.
You know, we've had some, we have old junipers that are like pre-war, you know, before the war, that were really, really lanky, and they seem to be compact now. So I'm really wondering whether you would get some back growth. Yeah.
I think you should go investigate that,
It's
Lucy,
healthy.
and have some pictures for next time.
Yeah.
Of the old wood or the older
I'm hitting the
area.
mute button again.
Yeah, I would like to see that, you know, some of the old ones that have, you know, kind of regained their density, and that would be interesting to see.
As far as the deadwood, would you keep
No.
it all?
What's that?
Would you keep it all? Would you, or shorten any of it, or?
I've been thinking about shortening some of it, yeah.
The long one that on the longest, the one that goes down lower?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that's distracting.
It is, you know, I can see having a, you know, saving some of the curves and stuff at the top, but then taking off.
That's
that
beautiful at the top.
Yeah.
long straight thing there.
That live branch that goes just above it, that's the only thing that's on that side that's alive, right?
Right. There's only two living branches.
Yeah,
There's
so-
this one and this one.
So if you didn't have the dead branch, that live branch would look even worse.
Yeah, it'd be really naked, huh?
Totally
Well,
naked.
see, this is one of the drastic things I've kind of been contemplating is, you know, just taking everything off, you know, taking this branch off, and just developing the tree from this stronger growth up at the top here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was trying to save it for a demo tree. I didn't want to make that decision, and
So you turn it into a semi-cascade instead of a.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you trace the trunk line of that upper branch word?
To trace the trunk line?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, the upper one.
You want me to do it with a?
You can do your cursor. I don't care. I just don't know where it goes. It just comes out and turns around?
It, let's see, hold on. It kind of comes out here. Whoops.
You're good.
Hey.
Down here.
That's impressive.
And
it goes.
It does branch right here. So you have this one that's shorter, and then this one is this one drops quite a bit. And then it goes out this way. So that's the basic.
Okay.
They look like Cheetos. I'm hungry.
All right. Okay. Any other questions or additions? Anything else to say?
How about the other one?
Pardon?
Trace the other one also.
Oh, trace the other one? Okay.
Leave that one there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one comes out. It goes behind.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whoops. Spastic. And then it just drops. I mean, there's no movement or anything in it. It's pretty ugly.
Could that bend? Could Vince make that bend?
Vince could make this bend, yes.
Oh yeah.
But it's, there's no taper.
Do we want it?
It's kind of like a drop branch. It just
What happens if
drops.
you delete that branch and just keep the top one?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, cut the whole thing off at the base and leave the dead wood?
Yeah, cut it off.
That might look better.
Could you air layer that bottom one?
Oh yeah, you could air layer it. Absolutely. It would air layer quite easily.
And then what?
And then what?
Well, the air layer, take it off, and then, cut this way back up in here someplace and just use it as a part of the deadwood feature. Shoot, I should have done a video so you could see the thing from all sides.
And then when you take the one, if you air layer it, you could even turn it upside down.
And have another cascade, yeah.
Have a whole nother tree.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
That was a good purchase, Renee.
I
like taking that off.
Where did you find it, Renee? Where'd you find this tree?
Oh, this was Don Castleman's.
Oh, that's right. You said.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was Don
I can really see getting rid of that bottom branch, leaving the dead wood. That would make that dead wood look pretty now. And then building the tree off the other branch.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but
It's too straight.
What happens if you take that one, that one that's straight down, and wire it, and bend it, and move it behind the other one?
Nice.
Maybe you can show us next month, Vince.
I'm bringing this with me when we come down, Vince.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We can toy with this.
Run.
I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be really good.
It could be part of Vince's demo.
Absolutely.
It could be part of
You
his
bought it for a demo tree.
Yep.
Bring it down and let me look at it. I think one of you guys are coming down before the actual show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Paul and I are going to for sure.
Bring it down then, and we'll take a look, see what we can do with it.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yes.
Oh, Stefanski?
Does anybody have anything else to share?
I have a question. Just one question.
Uh-huh.
Me?
Yeah.
Are you ready
Yes,
for me?
Deb, yeah.
Okay. So just the question is, in terms of screening, sunscreen, is it time to take it down now, would you say?
No.
I think we've got a few 90s still in the future.
Next week will be 90s.
Yeah, so should I keep it up for a while, do you think, or,
On your deciduous trees, I would.
okay.
I
All
think,
righty.
like I've taken mine down on the conifer side. I've taken my shades cloth down, but I leave it up. I watch the long-term weather forecast this time of year, and when the temperature starts, is down around 80 to 85 consistently, then I'll take off the 70% off the deciduous trees.
All righty. That's good. Thank you.
But that's what I do. So if anybody else has something they want to add to that, please do.
Sounds good.
Okay, I have, remember that fig? That
Yeah.
I remember my,
You're spotlighted.
3 weeks ago. This is what it looks like right now. Can you see that?
wow. Very nice.
That's crazy.
Very nice.
Guess I'm
That's so cool.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
But remember there was a single leaf left on that thing 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
That looks great.
Very nice.
Figs are very forgiving, so if you want to cut them back, cut them back.
They forgive you, Vince. I'm not sure they forgive me.
I know.
You can't cover much with those fig leaves.
I don't think so. I wouldn't want to try anyway.
That's great.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Patty, do you have anything to share?
I was trying to make